Thank you, Mr. Tarney. Our former Dean, Interim Provost Stenger, will now present the Dean's Award. Dr. Stenger.
Each year, the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences gives its highest honor, the Dean's Award for Achievement, to someone who has made a substantial contribution to the practice of engineering or the applied sciences and has had an exceptional professional career. This year, UB Engineering is pleased to honor Scott Stevens. Scott, could you join me? Join me for a second. Scott is the founder and CEO of Dimension Fabricators, a manufacturer of concrete reinforcing steel products for complex construction projects. He is the engineer's engineer. He's a licensed professional engineer in the state of New York, director of the Concrete Reinforcing Steel Institute's board, a UB Engineering Dean's Advisory Council member where he's served since 2005. He's volunteered as a consultant to high school economics classes for junior achievement for 15 years and is a pilot for Angel Flight, a charitable organization that transports patients via private aircraft. Stevens was the 2010 recipient of the School of Engineering's Engineer of the Year Award presented by the UB Engineering Alumni Association. Giving back is important to Scott and his wife Colleen, UB Physical Therapy, 1979. They have faithfully supported UB Engineering, including a generous gift to the school's new building, Barbara and Jack Davis Hall, where the courtyard will be named in their honor. They're also benefactors to other UB programs, including athletics, the libraries, and the School of Public Health and Health Professions. The University of Buffalo School of Engineering is honored to name Scott Stevens as an alumnus of great distinction whose continued career achievements merit our highest regard. Congratulations, Scott. Put it on the podium and you can give your remarks.
All right. Thank you. As I was sitting here just for a few moments, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, we've each seen one another's speeches, so forgive me for some of the redundancy. Good afternoon, and thank you for attending. Receipt of this honor is something I wouldn't have expected and is quite flattering, quite humbling. In fact, when Dr. Stenger first informed me of the award and that I was being asked to speak today, I honestly thought that, oh boy, this is just the type of prank my UB pals would have played on me years ago. But I guess your attendance proves he wasn't kidding, and the plaque proves it as well. In fact, when I was first asked to join the Dean's Council a few years back, my wife's response was, well, clearly they did not review your transcript. Guys, you've all worked hard, and gals. You've met all the deadlines, satisfied what seems like, I'm sure, unending requirements, and are now celebrating. Congratulations. But I'm here to tell you, I hope anyway, your learning has not ended but only begun. It's likely you'll have a couple of lousy jobs, or at the very least, assignments you'll hate, or work for people who are impossible to please. Use those experiences to determine what excites you. If a particular gig isn't working out, change it up. Don't hope that it will get better. Or God forbid, please don't be one of those who starts counting down to retirement 40 years out. We all know those people. So why am I your speaker today? I asked the university that question, and they said, well, perhaps I'm the sort of alum the university is proud to claim as one of theirs. I hope they're accurate in that assessment, and in the next couple of minutes I'll share just a couple ideas, a couple of the things I've done and suggestions maybe you haven't heard from others. Indeed, remember the comment about my transcript? My wife is correct. I was a confirmed left side of the bell curve student. So for those of you who didn't set the school on fire with your GPA, I'm your proof all is not lost. I had middling grades. I had middling grades. Dr. Lee was one of my instructors. He probably doesn't want to admit that either. But I had a strong desire to keep learning, of course, to prosper, and most importantly, yes, leave a positive impact. Pay it forward. I'm a '79 civil engineer. I started my company 27 years ago. When I first graduated, I was a structural engineer excited to start at Lockheed Martin. We made the space, well, they still make the Space Shuttle fuel tank, that big bullet-shaped aluminum object that the shuttle rides into orbit. I reported to work eager to tackle the challenges of handling that 160-foot-long aluminum assembly, proud of my training regarding codes and loads and winds and things. And my boss said, yeah, that's great. We got a compressed air problem. I knew nothing about compressed air, especially what they called missile-grade air. I don't remember what that is any longer. But I learned fast because you had to. And you know what? Those assignments continued. And this kid who knew finite element analysis and concrete designs didn't do much of either in that job. But it took a while to realize the broad education I was getting unrelated to structural engineering. And yeah, it was cool to work around rocket ships, that much I'll admit. Several years later, I had to wire and program my own machinery only because I didn't have the money to pay anybody to do it for me. And you know what? All those machines worked just fine. It was then that I recognized how much I'd learned outside the academic training here, but it was the academic training that taught me how to learn. I left that job, moved on to another one that did involve finite element analysis and concrete design for a few years, but then I sensed an opportunity. I felt an unmet need. I decided to strike out on my own, start our own manufacturing company. I started with pretty much nothing. Just an idea, a small amount of cash my wife and I had saved while we were starting a family. I bought some tired, used machines, fixed them up, rented a tiny spot in a warehouse, and jumped in. I had no customers, didn't even have prospects, just a sense that it was going to be all right. Naive? Maybe. Foolish? Yeah, a lot of people thought so. We had no steady paycheck and a 6-month-old infant. In our first year of operation, I took a salary of less than $4,000, $80 a week. Granted, it was 27 years ago, but that was lean. But you know what? I was still my own boss, made my own decisions. The hard work paid off. I'm here to tell you, as you know, hard work usually does. We are now indeed recognized as leaders in our industry. At my company, we now put things on trucks that are 120 feet long, sometimes 10 feet in diameter. They weigh 50 tons. If we can't find a truck big enough to do it, we build it. Nobody ever did what we do. We have the proverbial niche. That's where they hide the money. In an industry that's sometimes viewed as stultified, we continue to expand and our employment continues to grow. So maybe that explains why I'm here today. And here's just a couple suggestions that I hope can be of some value to those of you who will at the end of the day be defined as newly minted UB engineers. And this is where there's some redundancy in these talks. Engineers share a responsibility not common to all professions. You know, ours is a vocation of constant improvement, pressured by technology. In our plant, we see changes that are fun, sometimes expensive, but boy, are they productive. It's fascinating to see the changes evolve, and it's a kick to see those who are unwilling to adopt to this evolution. Don't become that kind of an engineer. Continue to learn, be curious, be involved. As engineers, you know, we develop and implement the betterment of our communities, of all humanity. If you think about it, when good things happen, generally engineers were involved. The author James Michener once said, "Scientists dream great things, engineers do them." I urge you to join your professional associations. We're important to each other. We need each other. You'll derive great satisfaction from your contributions and maybe improve our world in ways you didn't envision. And in fact, you may find the people you help are either your next employers or employees. I've volunteered my time for 15 years now at the local high school offering insight on economics to seniors. The material I share with those students is nothing in their school curricula. Keep ahead of your competition. Be innovative, be nimble. those of you with athletic inclinations know it's always preferable to be on offense. Work so that you remain in possession of the puck. Defense is never as much fun. We do it at our company. We innovate. We look at what the customer wants and try to do it faster and better. We don't always succeed, but we always try. And I think you'll find that if you believe you can do it, it'll get done. I forever recite something Henry Ford said: if you think you can, or if you think you cannot, either way, you're correct. Keep your ideas fresh, and this is a tough one, your mind open. You'll be a better practitioner, you'll be more successful, and probably just be happier too. I hope I've given you some small insight into what I derived from my UB education. And with today's ceremony, you're recognized as having completed the first steps of a journey whose limits are really determined only by you. Thanks for a few minutes of your attention. Congratulations. I wish you all, each and every one of you, the best.
Provost Stenger will now acknowledge our student recipient of the SUNY Chancellor's Award for Student Excellence, and when finished, he will give his remarks.
Claire Lochner of Williamsville, New York, graduated with a Bachelor of Science degree in Electrical Engineering. She's a recipient of the Chancellor's Award for Student Excellence, created in 1997. It honors the State University of New York students who have best demonstrated and been recognized for their integration of academic excellence with aspects of their lives, which may include leadership, athletics, career achievement, community service, or creative and performing arts. Claire was a Barry Goldwater Scholar and a recipient of UB's John D. Gallatin International Honor Scholarship. She's conducted several research studies at UB and at UCLA and has been published internationally. In addition, Claire has served as an officer of Tau Beta Pi, Engineers for Sustainable World, and the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. She's a 2011 National Science Foundation Graduate Research Fellowship winner. This fall, she will attend the University of California at Berkeley's Department of Electrical Engineering and Computer Science with a department graduate fellowship to pursue her PhD. Please join me in congratulating Claire. Nice job, Claire. Congratulations. Good picture here.